Thank you very much. It has become our usual attitude, despite all that we are taught of, whether in the encyclopedia, whether in the constitutions. I would still encourage us to note that here, how we must justificate, and how we must have comfort, and how we must have peace and patience, and how we must attain quelque chose. It's undeniable that we must refrain our tongue. Words that hundreds of people are beginning to run at a skater. If we must be successful, we must dedicate. Let's now go live on Facebook. So this is it here. We're live on YouTube and I'm going live on Facebook. So I will be repeating a few things I've said before. What we actually want to attain. Thank you very much for the rundown tonight. And when you have to see or hear your senior officers saying run down, back there, see, there's no illumination that's shown that some staffs in some middle ranks somewhere in the nuisance are practicing antichrist. Although they can establish, they can reach the top, they can absolutely, it can never happen in New York, so they can never win. So therefore, we shall be running today, Friday, very, very delicate day, which, despite all that we are taught of, we must have patience, we must have be comforted, we must attain something, we must justificate economy. And then, in the little attaining of anything, we must be able to put food on the tables of the citizens in the presence of their enemy. We must have crown. We must have royalty. We must have compatriots. We must have loyal people. We must have ribbons. We must have God to be our host. And when we're explaining God to be our host, we must go straight to the revelation. Most about how 10 cents, actually the smoke represent the prayer of the saints. So if you have 10 cents that give their power to the Lord, then the hostship is certain to be simply that. In terms of when a king or a queen is explaining that aspect, that's Jeremiah 41, verses 1. So therefore, before we go ahead, let's do this again.
ويحلفون بالله إنهم لمنكم وما هم منكم ولكنهم قوم يفرقون.
My partner which will run this world together in the future. We have started something today. We actually have started something in the 41st week and in the 14th day, and it was the 6th day of the week, Friday like this, which actually we counted that the day began on Sunday, which is also the grave, is the first day of the week. These are word orders, and those are the areas where you take notes. You must conform into it, and then you must be able to achieve something. Although we are going to make TikTok, it ain't going to be too long, probably 1 minute and 50. That will be on Twitter as well, also on TikTok and on Instagram. Uh, we shouldn't waste much of our time. We go on issues that are very, very necessary. Uh, some issues happened on Thursday, the 20th day, and it's all about the World Trade Center, which is consecrated already for the purpose of the universe in terms of bringing people close to it. So on the very 41st week, 14th day, where the Feast of Tabernacle got to be, was actually happening somewhere in the dot on the map, of course. But out of yesterday uh, was a Thursday, 20th of October, and then a Camry 2021 almost became mine, and yet it's gonna be. Somebody can just let it be. So uh, I think more that I need to justify that end because it constitutes the reason why we were at the West North East local government at Lugalara. I think it's probably between I and God, and then these are the things that makes God more wicked. Uh, I'm going to shift forward to having said that. Uh, King William Alexander on the 30th April 2010, King William Alexander succeeded his mother as monarch. Then the king is married to Queen Maxima. The royal couple has three daughters: Princess Katerina, Amalia, and Princess Orange, Princess Alexander, and Princess Arena. These three princes are now fixed as the Dutch or uh, princess or princess, yeah, princess of Municipal Abuja, the princess of Lagos, and one the princess of West Northeast local. They were paid from home, and they are the principals after me. I'm the king of Municipal Abuja, king of Northeast local, and the king of Lagos. I actually want those eyes to have Senate, and then the first chiefs and rep. The rep is Nancy Pelosi. The Senate president is J. Trump. He can find a deputy if he wants. And then also in Lagos, the rep is Nancy. The Senate is Trump, J. Trump. Also at the East Northwest, Northeast local government, one of the 20 local government of Edo State. So these princes I just shared there, I welcome them to Africa. They gotta be so serious, and they have to bring what mom and dad actually we have. So today, Friday, is a day where put it in the article of the universe, I think Article 6 or 5 or 6, where the military head of states will now justify issues that are brought forward through the Economic Financial Crime Court, its own court system. And then that was what PIRA was doing before, here. But now that I've been shifted to that distance, there's a tendency that many things have been shifted away from here there. Because the work I have right here is 10 times more than what is happening here at Pentagon, Washington. So, of which we have S5, we have hundreds of them. The institution that sells land across the world is on the same street where S5 is located, on a junction there. And then we're making a deal. R. Kelly, I had commanded you to find your squirrels. Also, Nevada. Nevada on Monday is resuming as the Russia president. Simply, Vladimir Putin is resigned. And then these are statements, and they are final statements. And then God had just whispered to us through the governor of UK Bank. He's now in Malaysia. He left Thailand about a few hours ago. So we have to fast track SIA. Suddenly, an Australian who actually win the seat of defense chief. X. And then when you mention X, it's not on its own without the moon. And so the sun, everything is X in the world order. So when you say X, it's more or less you're saying planets. You must go far, at least at this spherical and the moon where necessary. So I spoke about the background. There's no elimination there. Certainly, you should know that Buckingham is fired, and Buckingham must pay before tomorrow morning 100 billion pounds. That is one of the estimations of 2023. 100 billion pounds. That is the whole of almost that is 10% of 2023 budget. That's good enough. So I had commissioned a time budget to Africa Union and Europe Union so that they can go and round up whatever they have. Because the Africa and Europe Federation Union actually also had a time budget. That's two budget there. Also, all continent is at 10 and had, so we have now 12 budgets already. So note that. Within that 12 budgets, we are going to make a few TikToks tonight. And then let's round up. Romans 14, 12. We still two more budget section. So one will go to UN, and the other one will go to one will go to UN, the other one will go somewhere. So we have 13 now. We must have 14 now. So where exactly? If one go to UN, where does the other one? Fine. Okay, we got that. The 14th one goes to Virginia State House to give a toast to the 100. You see there? To get 100, they must give the cash to the Virginia State House so that they can know the shape of the map of Virginia is like a stepping stone. Then something fell to the other side. That is the life of Obadiah. And not Obadiah. I think Jacob and Esau. Where Esau? It's not Esau, it's Obadiah. And the word Oba in the West mainland mean a king. Dia mean those that kills a king. That's if you translate that sound, not that sound into English, Obadiah, or those that kill people by taking command from the king. So Virginia is a strong Obadiah country. So I'll be changing the capital states of Virginia into Obadiah as we have that tonight. Are we there? Right. So Romans 14:12 mean that we have both African Union, European Summit, 6 summits now should have one part of it, because actually they were the one that first bring about 15 billion. Later, I gave to them 216 billion. They later messed up. Okay, they came up with a reconciliation fund of 30 billion. I gave them 66 billion. So what we are looking for there is a 366 billion that actually now are giving us divided to 6 now, whereby 366 days, then we have a single day 167 million point 4 pence. So what actually we now have is that we had now agreed to Romans 14:12 that we expatiate from 12, that is the Federation of Europe and the Federation of Africa. It's a different, it's not a union, it's a federation. Because the federation started on the 14th day of October, the 6th day of the week, Friday, and the 41st week, 2022, both simultaneously. I think we stepped down for one another, but it wasn't working, so we continentally did that as of Africa as a federation, and then we have to share 1 as a continent. So that's 10. So how we got to 12 is the union, and the union and the federation, and the union. They had 2 as one union. Then the 13 goes to the UN 77 and 78 section, their pari passu. I will give to my deputy head to design the crest for the 77, 78 section. When I say 7, 8, you make haste. Like 1, 2, you shoot 3, 4, you make it 5, 6, you make it 7, 8, you make it. So that's 7, 8 make haste, which is 77 and 78. The make haste already put to them each 2.5 trillion naira each. to co-organize 5 political parties, and every 366 days, we're having 5 critical subjects to tackle, of which the one that is first put in front of both are um, environmental sanitation, and to the other side, community development. So if you had an environmental sanitation or community development, so that when you are developing the community, you have to clean it up. From there, we can attain paradise restoration and domestication of animals. Will go on after that. So while we talk about this, King Charles III will design the crest. They have 2 stars on it and 4 stars under, and 3 stars by the right and 3 stars by the left. And you see the UN at symbol there with the widths around it. I think we don't do that. Then so that Virginia can go to the state house, and then from there you start analyzing, you start inputting the Chancellor of 100 Equine Streets, Virginia Armstrong, two, 23669. I think that. So the shape of Virginia, to finish in that word order, the shape of Virginia is like climbing to the top. Then when you get to the top, you fall to the other side. That's all about Obadiah. Obadiah is just a single chapter in the Old Testament. So those who read the Bible very should know about that. So the foundation of Virginia is rekindled, and then it's having an interaction with the Westmoreland. I can understand what Obadiah means. And there's like saying Bidaya, that's Arabic word. All the same. Don't know whether one day we're going to end up with a thing called Bidaya and then Virginia. And then whatever it's going to be, we'll get to that. If I wish you good luck tonight, let me uh, go straight to another issue that is developing in China. You know, one of these nights when God was describing issue, he talks about using wisdom, I think, to have a plan or some kind of words that you use your brain or something, probably a future plan or something. It talks about to have a vision. Yeah, right word there is a vision. So in that vision, uh, China was meant to split. One is called Hong Kong as its capital, and the one is called Beijing as capital. So it's going to be because that's China is very big, so it's almost big as India. So it's almost like a continent. What is the biggest state? So God is trying to redesign. God work on the atlas. So God trying to design that area of the maximization, which the vision actually was in the 40th week or thereabout. So God don't want China to be 40 because of the that kind of maximization, which the one part of China have to do something with even Taiwan, which carries the capital city for Asia, and even Japan, Malaysia. I think that area of Japan, Tokyo there, and then that area of Korea. You know, I had reached North and South Korea to be one country, capital Seoul, currency Pyongyang, and then I choose one royal house called the Royal House of One, and one was their currency. So the whole state there is reunifying themselves. Let's go back to China. China A and China B. What do you suggest? Now that Yo Young King is not corresponding much, so we look at forget about those one family we are from. And then let's go back to if Z communist can take a contract from the UN, the 72nd, 77, 78 section, communists to President Asia. It's a big deal. And then we are pondering it. The first thing is that we follow the order, the world order which God has designed, which is vision. So there's no way we actually want to have a vision without punctuality. So I think probably from that 14th segment of those funding from the time fund, that we go to 15 and 16, from 14 to 16. And Romans 14:16 now says, don't let your good be talked about as evil. Your good is your punctuality to have vision as China to split, where you have capital here, Hong Kong, capital here, Beijing. If you lose that vision, punctuality is so useless. If you lose that vision, you will now be fucked. Your currency will collapse. The currency that binds you both already is like a while ago, and it's already splitting halfway. So, what is the evaluation of your halfway splitting? Actually, you split halfway, but you still spend the same currency. Yeah, both of you get the same name, but different capital. So you're halfway there. That's the vision. Do you stand in that vision? What is the level of your vision? Let's have it as an email to my private line. My private line, my email is out there. You know what to do. Give it good news. Probably let me have it to the fence. So when I digest it, I just put it to the Senate. And the Senate will. So there's a part inside the mainland, municipal, west, east, and north local government, and then Lagos. The Senate President is of Lagos, the Speaker is of Lagos, but not the executives. But if I don't choose the executive, we might not get to the Oma issue, and that is very, very literally compulsory. So the Camry is out there. It's a 2.5. That brings me to the final conclusion. Apart from directly going and never going as a president, 9 years straight, Russia. Whatever stand on his way shall be taken away. That's what God said. No matter what the thing is, it's not about killing somebody. It's about vision. Lord to Vladimir Putin is good enough to be laid to rest. And I think his name is Nicholas Cruz. Nicholas Cruz, 2017, killed 17 people and then injured 17. And then somewhere around 17, called me Gaddafi Lane at West Northeast Local Government, one of the 20 local governments in Ogun State, founded in 1993, but well established in 1955, but actually was established 2022 years ago by a foundational stone that was built in historical thesis by King David and Zerubbabel, with Isaiah and King Asiah and like of them. I think that is a foundational stone of the Lamb of God that is blessed along with Jesus. It does certain things, not perfect, but close to perfection. And that which Jesus used to redefine. It has shown that that's a vision that Jesus redefined things, that is, to renew consistently. Like Lamentation 3:23 talks about, great is your faithfulness, O Lord. There are new every morning. So it's necessary that the Lamb is perfect, is blessed, and along with the Prince of Peace, or Jesus, or God, something, the Lord in general. But he does renew things. So when a matter gets to a point, the matter desificates and keep its nuclear power and continue to make sense. Out of which we cannot actually have more than education, science, and culture, mental stability, and gun control, military issues, and this, and then order from the top to the bottom. We must have it like more or less like redefining them, that we must put food on the table of the citizens in the presence of their enemy. The enemy don't want them to be connected to the kingdom. They want them to connect to religion. Religion cannot supply food. Religion is a university. Religion is an educational system. It only give you knowledge. And some are now scamming the economy by starting. You teach people how to spend, how to give, and you yourself cannot give them. It's very wrong. Uh, that's why we are inviting Angela Merkel to the first general hospital in Djibouti. There's a general hospital inside the West North Dublin, but that's not where we're going. We are going to the one that where I was given birth to. That one will take a lasting memory because God who called me on a plot of land where he had prepared his 17, address is 17, called Gaddafi Lane. So that is why I was looking at Nicholas Cruz, that maybe the world trade issue is a logistic economy. It's not about financing, price control, rating kings, commissioning prince and princess, and talk about bread or God as host, or putting food in kind of the enemy of and then rescuing people from starvation and putting shelter for them. But some kind of political logistic issues, as it was pointing Nicholas Cruz to had brought a 2.5 million naira into my account, and why he set loose. He cannot treat it in the prison. It's going to be his lovers that will do that. So by the time I now put you on a live in a daytime, that look at what Nicholas Cruz had done. Today now mark 7 and 8 day. So 7, 8, he had not made 8. And I'm a kind guy with vision. We're still going to give him more time. We are just at 20, 5500. So 20, 155 minutes. So we are still having uh, roughly 3 hours and 5 minutes. So the crown or golden account is not something that is so there's hope. So therefore, it will be released immediately. He did that for one purpose or the other. So we're going to be applying Sharia law, compensating the family, making them prince, princess, around town, thank the government here and there. We ask them, are you okay? They will say yes. So whoever also had offended R. Kelly, we will do the same. We apply Sharia law. And then we ask them, are you okay? They say yes. Have you forgiven them? They say yes. Which is not the case. And then he'll be out as well tonight. He likes it or not. It's destined to let go. Also, it is for a 2 week. We have hundreds of issues, which some are very necessary issues. We put them aside. There are issues that they are they are they are becoming too stronger than what is of a vision. So we will look at a vision is very easy to attain if it's about the will of God, because the word of God itself will have been God, and that will have first thrown light to a part of men, and then will have brought life. Those who are dying, they won't die. Those who are going to die in jail will die. So, why Putin was laid to rest? He had killed too much. He was buried alive. So I don't know what's going to be the problem, because I tend to like run on his legacy, because he actually was my vice president since 2005. 2005, and he had been running his presidency around 2001 something, 2002. So it's not the president of the world. Russia is not the world. So since my 20th year at 2005, which was at my 2 to 300 level at the University of Education, Taishulan, University that's not tarnished, along with College of Education, Sokoto, where a girl was smacked with sticks to death because she tweeted about my Anabi Muhammad, the previous Caliph of Islam. Now the recent one that also have a deputy Caliph, the Prime Minister of Saudi, the 15 short. And let me talk about where there's a vision. When there's no vision, the people perish. So we try to plan more vision, and I think Vladimir Putin, you will not be buried alive if you advocate for Nicholas Cruz. I know you're a trillionaire. You can get Omar, you can get all these things. Now that we're not in that, uh, the guy need assistance. Instead of you assisting him, just tell Levani to him as the president. Why you chill out? You must have missed something. God tell me that you are the king of Russia. And anytime I come online to see all the rubbish you're doing in Ukraine, you are bombing. You are trying to increase military by 1 million and one. You who is a vice president in the presence of people who are up to 100 million citizens, where 1 million of the 100 million are witches and wizards who should be killed. You did not kill those ones inside Russia. You are killing innocent people inside Ukraine, where I am their legitimate king. You are mad or something. You are a nuisance. Everybody has sanctioned you, but you must be Chris. If not your 17th year, that make me to remember the number of the house, the two plot of land where God called me. I will make sure I bury you tonight. Tonight, I want you to support Nevani to rise. I want to support Nicholas Cruz to fulfill his destiny, which is ending tonight. An opportunity to produce that 2011 Toyota Camry in honor of the World Trade Center, which is days are on Thursdays and today's Friday. It's now motion for others. And the other guy there is marking almost some birthday. So therefore, it's up to him. We all welcome Nevani. We know what is oppressed used to take over. And because you stayed 17 years as vice president to me, of which I made you oppressed me at the time, and I made you the president of the world for 31 days. I was chilling for 31 days, and you impressed me. So therefore, tonight, as we round up, uh, let's listen to what God said. Romans 14:12 said, "So then, every one of us shall give account." So then, so then, so then, there's a plane going up there which is trying to remind me of of something that are of lying wonders. Romans 14:12. So then, every one of us shall give account of himself to God. I wish you all happy Friday.